Using your local area as a springboard to get into a much broader market is the absolute best way to start a small business, particularly if you're starting it on your own. And this doesn't matter what industry. It could be e-commerce, it could be SaaS, it could be info products, it could be consulting, it could be services, it doesn't matter. If you target your local area, you'll have a much easier time building out your business. For example, I see so many people that are non-native English speakers trying to sell products in America for English-speaking people, and it's insanely difficult. And you may think America's this huge country, consumer-minded, like you gotta sell stuff in the Americans. I agree, right? We're a huge consumer market. We love buying stuff. We spend way too much money on a bunch of trash, honestly. But let me flip this around and you'll see just how bad this strategy actually is. So would it make sense to you if I, a pale-skinned, uncultured gringo, started making products for a bunch of people that speak Spanish in Mexico? Now look, I can speak a little bit of Spanish, but it's pretty broken. And even with the language barrier aside, I don't understand the culture. I don't understand the beliefs. I don't understand how business is done in Mexico. So the reality is starting a local business is substantially easier than trying to start a global targeted business. And even huge, massive companies have problems going to expand globally once they've established in a local area, because expanding globally is something that's very difficult to do. Also, when I say local business, I don't mean like painting and cleaning and manual labor, like window washing, power washing type stuff. All that I mean is that it's local to you as an individual. The same culture and the same language and the same geolocation as the one that you're involved in. And you can still 100% have a totally online only business doing this. You don't have to go out and see people in your local area and do anything like that if you don't want to. That would probably help, but you could still operate an entirely 100% online business by doing this. And I would recommend taking this route. And it's for honestly one major reason that this will work so well is that because people buy products and pay premiums from other people and businesses that they trust. Your business will be substantially more successful if you have an easier time selling your product. That's obvious. One of the hardest barriers to overcome in business and in selling your product is having trust with the prospect. No one is going to pay a premium or buy an expensive product from someone that they don't trust. So if I were to give you an example, and you can find examples all over everywhere. You can look in almost any business and you can see these examples, but I'll just pull one from Amazon here. And if I wanted to go buy some new headphones, could I go buy like these $20 off-brand headphones from Amazon? Like probably, if all that I cared about was getting the lowest price offer. And the problem with selling the absolute cheapest version of something is that it's a constant race to the bottom. Frankly, there's no benefit in being the second cheapest option. And so if I'm looking at these three headphones, I'm going to probably go with the Bearabees because they're the cheapest. Like, why would I pay $5 more to get basically the same headphones? Because I don't know either of these brands. I've never heard of them. I have no trust in them because I don't know anything about them. But here's the thing. So many people will pay a huge premium to buy a product from a brand that they already trust. For example, very similar headphones. Obviously, they're higher quality, of course, but these are made by Sony, which is a national brand. Everyone knows Sony. They make great headphones. Their product is 10 times more expensive than the cheaper over-ear headphones. This is the power of brand trust. And I'm not trying to start this, which brand makes the best headphones kind of debate or anything like that, but I think we can all agree that it does not cost Sony 10 times more to fulfill the product. Maybe it costs them double, maybe it costs them triple. Their margin is still substantially larger than those cheaper headphones. Those cheaper headphones, they're probably only making $1, $2, $5 in profit margin. These Sony headphones are probably making $200 in margin. Moreover, these headphones have sold double or triple the amount of units as the previous three combined. Now, when you're first starting out, you don't have any brand trust. No one knows you. So you don't have any trust in the marketplace that you can leverage to sell your product for a more expensive offering. And so a lot of businesses rely on being the cheapest product in the marketplace. And this is a huge mistake, massive mistake, because all that's going to happen is you're going to go bankrupt. I've talked to people that sell products on Amazon. I used to sell a lot of product on Amazon, and I would talk to people and they'd be making $3 million in revenue. And I'd be thinking, you're probably making what, $500,000 in profit, maybe even $1 million in profit. And they'd be like, no, I'm doing about $30,000 in profit. I mean, what? 30K on 3 million? That's 1% profit margins. And like, that's the reality of some of these brands. Like, they're not profitable. They're not really making any money. Like, they're generating tons of revenue, but they're not pulling in any profit because they're constantly racing to the bottom. So when you're starting out, you don't have that brand power like Sony. So how can you build trust with your customers? And it's as simple as having a local cultural connection with people that are in your target audience. And that builds immediate trust with somebody. And then you can build a rapport on top of that trust that's already innate. So think about it like this. Would you rather buy a product, assuming the two products are the same? There's two products that are exactly the same product. One of these people or one of these businesses serves your local area, and maybe the owner lives in the same town as you and they go to like the same restaurant that you do and it's your favorite restaurant. Or would you rather buy a product from somebody that lives on the other side of the planet, speaks a different language, and the jokes and the references they make just fly over your head? You have no idea what they're talking about most of the time. Like, obviously, if the product's the same, then you would go local. And if the product is better, you would obviously go local if the local version's better. And even if the foreign version might be slightly better than the local version, you still might go local because you trust that the local business is going to have the same values and beliefs and morals as you do. And I know the arguments of, well, Jordan, the Americas is just so big. We have to target businesses and people in the United States because my local market in my country is too small. The people that speak my language, the market's not big enough. And I'm not arguing that the Americas isn't like the hub of consumerism worldwide. But what I'm trying to say is if you can start local and then expand from there, you're going to have a much easier time getting your early customers. Because at the end of the day, the internet is the great marketplace, right? Everybody wants to sell products on the internet, but that's a secondary stage after you can have a proof of concept that your business actually works and you're able to connect with people. Because here's the thing, if you can't sell a product to somebody that's very similar to you culturally and they connect with you on a base level, then you have no chance of selling a product to somebody on the other side of the planet that has no relevant cultural connections to you whatsoever. So whether this is right or wrong, this is just human psychology and biases. We have an easier time connecting with people that are similar to us, and we build trust easier with people that are similar to us. And again, I'm not telling you if this is how it should be or what's right and wrong. I'm just telling you this is how it is. And you need to understand that for your business, you need to be connecting with people that are similar to you and selling them your product. And if you can't sell them, you can't sell people that are outside of that group. And I get like a ton of direct messages and emails from people that live in Texas. And that's because I live in Texas too. And so most of these people, anytime I put out any kind of product, they buy it because they trust me, because I've got that down home country, Southern hospitality, hardworking ethic that other people in Texas understand and connect with. And so they know that any product I make is going to be great because I am connected with them culturally. Now, you can try to like fight this level of sociology and say that everything I'm talking about is a bunch of BS. But at the end of the day, running your business and starting it from scratch is difficult enough. And so you should try to take, the easier route when you can. And an easy way to make sure your business model is viable is to make sure it works with your local culture. And here's a little cheat code for you. If you want to make like starting a business insanely easy, all you really have to do is find a business in another country, state, culture, language, whatever, that's outside of your local area, and then bring it into your local area, right? Adapt it and change it to fit whatever your culture is. If you do that, you've got your niche, you've got your product, you got your offer, you got your marketing, everything all bundled up and wrapped together, ready for you to start your first business. And then you become the go-to guy for that particular thing in your particular area. So you can become the best guitar teacher in Sapporo, Japan, or you can become the top tax prepper in Casper, Wyoming, or you can become the highest ROI copywriter in some small town in India. And you can go smaller than that if you wanted to. And all of these can still be 100% online businesses, and they can all still be scalable, because once you saturate your local market, which, you can get to millions of dollars in your local market realistically. Once you get to that point, then maybe you can start expanding to surrounding areas, and then maybe you can think about expanding globally. Do you know how many people started doing Amazon FBA teaching and consulting after they saw some of my videos on YouTube? Like a lot. And they would just adapt it into their language or their culture. Like there's several channels out there that teach Amazon FBA in German. And they're absolutely killing it, because here's the thing. If I'm German and I speak German, and a lot of German people also speak English, but if I'm wanting to learn how to sell products on Amazon, it's probably going to be an easier time for me, and I'm going to have more trust with someone that lives in the same country and speaks the same language as I do. So why would I watch some dude on the other side of the planet that lives in Texas talking about it when I could watch someone from my own home country? And so you can immediately and very quickly build up your business by just focusing on your local area first and your local culture, and then you can expand outside of that if you even want to. Like most of the time, you don't need to. You can get to multiple millions in just your country alone. So at the end of the day, the lowdown is find somebody that you admire and you like their business. Okay, so you probably follow people on social media, see what they're doing, see how their business works, and then take it and adapt it to your local area, right? Then you have everything figured out, because you can just see what they're doing, and then you can sometimes literally just translate it to your own language. And this has worked a lot for a lot of different businesses. So find somebody that you admire, that you like their business model, adapt it to your own local culture, and you have a winning business model that's ready to go. So that is all for this video. I hope you liked it, and I hope that you have plenty of business success in the future, and I'll see you in my next video.